Huh? What the hell's going on here? No, I have fun learning what I don't know. And now, still in chapter 2, we're getting into the next section of chapter 2. I'm barely through this book, folks. Inductance. This starts out over here where they talk about how winding wire around a metal core and then applying power with a battery. Then you put the old compass next to it back in school, back in the good old days when in grade school science class. So yeah, I like how they start off really basic, but it's gonna go full throttle, intense theory here real quick. And perhaps this section here might be helpful to me when I'm considering building a coil to load my 40 meter vertical down for 80 meters. It's kind of talking about that right here with number of turns on a coil and all this mathematics. Maybe it won't help at all, but just the theory behind all that stuff is right here. And one point I can also make about learning the theory, like for instance, these coils and how the mathematics behind building a coil, perhaps I can use that to understand and build my own coil to, as an example, build my loading coil to add on to my 40 meter vertical and use it on 80 meters. Instead of just buying some crap off the internet, MFJ or some other product that they claim, oh, you got low SWR, oh, you can be heard all over the world. Bullshit. I think learning the science behind this stuff, being able to build my own stuff and know what's going on, makes me the winner, not the salesman. So it's 1950. They don't really have computers or any way to really figure anything out. And I could probably look this up, but what gets me is, or what's interesting when they talk about permeability, talking about applying current to a coil, and where do they get this 80,000 lines of force? Like, how do they figure that out? And this density, 40,000 lines of force, 40,000 lines, 40,000 flux lines. How do they figure that out with no computers? I don't get it. Well, I'm sure they did, but I just think it's amazing. You did all this stuff back in the day with no help from computers. I guess there was probably physics and science that do some calculations. You can do it. I don't know. I'm just guessing here, but I just think that's pretty awesome stuff. We don't really need computers, do we, folks? And again, as we continue through inductors, we got mutual inductance. We have inductance in series and parallel, and mutual inductance. The two coils next to each other. One's powered, one's right next to it, expanding the whole electric field thing. So this is basic stuff. It's like the building blocks of learning this stuff. You got to learn it if you can go move on to the next chapter for sure. So I'm just cruising through it here. I think I need to, maybe stop and go back eventually, but I only have so much time to make these videos, and I don't want you all to be bored out of your minds. And so some of this theory is kind of mind-blowing. So on inductance, in this little case here, in the case of inductance, electrical energy is converted into magnetic energy when the current through the inductance is increasing, and the magnetic energy is converted back into electric energy and thereby restored to the circuit when the current is decreasing. It is this alternate storing and releasing of energy that makes inductance oppose a change in current through it. The self-induced EMF is by means which energy is put into and taken out of the magnetic field. Self-induced EMF. Self-induced EMF? Does that make inductance a perpetual motion machine? So they're comparing inductance with capacitance because there's a similarity. In the case of capacitance, energy is stored in the condenser, actually in the electric field between the plates. So it is an electric field, which I guess inductors also create an electric field as well. I guess. I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing, man. But anyway, oh my God, I'm way out of my league here, but I'm just telling you, this is 1950s. They really, I'm gonna have to reread this many times. So again, it's like information overload here for me, but this is still basic stuff. This is probably stuff you learned before you even think about going to college for electronics back in the 50s. And we go on and on and on until we hit good old alternating currents. That's enough for now. 73 from CLG.